हाँ ठीक. Yes, Priyansh. Now, as you know, in the previous class, we have started this chapter that is Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Before that, I would like to tell you the outline of the chapter that is Introduction, the Weimar Republic, the Great Depression, Hitler's rise to power, the Nazi worldview, youth in Nazi Germany, and the last point, reaction of ordinary people to Nazi crimes. Now, in short, today I'll be starting with the Great Depression. Before that, I would just like to go fastly on the points which we have studied. Just the outline of the chapter. Hitler was horrified by the defeat of Germany in the First World War and was furious with the Treaty of Versailles. In 1919, he joined a small group called the German Workers' Party and later took over its organization and named it as National Socialist German Republic Workers' Party, which came to be referred as the Nazi Party. Now, in this chapter, we are going to trace the rise of Hitler and the spread of Nazism in Germany. Now, let's move to the next point, and my next point is the years of depression. Now, when I talk about the years of depression or the Great Depression, the things are same. Now, in short, firstly, as you can see, after this I'll come to the explanatory part. The years between 1924 and 1928 were somewhat stable, but the period after 1929 was marked by severe depression. The events which led to the depression and its effect can be understood with the help of following points. First point, the Wall Street Exchange of US crashed in 1929, and fearing a fall in prices, people made frantic efforts to sell their shares. On 24th October only 13 million shares were sold. Remember this date? 24th October only 13 million shares were sold, and this marked the onset of the Great Economic Depression. And from this date onwards, it was the beginning of the Great Economic Depression. Between 1929 to 1932, the national income of the USA fell by a half. Factories were shut down, exports fell, farmers were badly hit, and speculators withdrew their money from the market. The effect of recession in the US economy were felt worldwide, but German economy was the worst hit. उस समय पूरे विश्व में सबकी आर्थिक स्थिति बहुत दयनीय थी, यहाँ तक कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की भी हालत खराब थी. लेकिन अगर सबसे भारी किसी को नुकसान हुआ, आर्थिक संकट अगर सबसे अधिक किसी के ऊपर आया, तो वो था जर्मनी. जर्मनी की आर्थिक स्थिति एकदम नाजुक हो गई. This was due to the fact that the recovery in the German economy was possible only because of the short-term loans extended by the US banks. और जर्मनी कैसे ऊपर आ पाया? क्योंकि उसको यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने सपोर्ट किया. अब हम लोग चलते हैं. Now let's move to the Great Depression part. In September 1929 began the stock market crash in the United States. Within 1 month, stock values dropped by 40% compared to the 1929 level. On one single day, 24th October, मतलब एक ही दिन में भारी झटका लगा. 13 million shares were sold. In 3 years between 1929 and 1932, the national income of USA fell by half. मतलब 3 साल के अंदर जो उनका नेशनल इनकम थी, जो देश अर्न कर रहा था, वो आधे पे आ गई. Wholesale prices by almost 1/3 and merchandise trade by 2/3. मतलब जो होलसेल प्राइसेस थे वो 1/3 मीन्स 25% कम हुए, और जो मर्केंडाइज ट्रेड था, जो ट्रेड बड़े लेवल पे था, उसका लॉस हुआ था 75% का. The effect of the recession in the US were felt throughout the world. इसका असर स्टार्टिंग इसकी हुई यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स से, लेकिन इसका जो असर था, that was throughout the world. The worst hit economy was of Germany. By 1932, the industrial production was reduced to 40% compared to 1929 level. 1929 में जो प्रोडक्शन हो रहा था, वो घट के, उसके स्टैंडर्ड में घट के वो 40% रिड्यूस कर गया. Millions of Germans were thrown out of jobs, और हजारों की तादाद में the people got unemployed. The number of unemployed rose to an unprecedented 6 million. अब सोचो किसी देश में अगर 6 million लोग unemployed हो जाएं, then what would be the condition? Hundreds of Germans walked the streets with placards round their necks, willing to do any work. और वहाँ पे लोगों की हालत ये थी, बेरोजगारी इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ गई थी, लोगों ने अपने गर्दन में प्लकार्ड बांध के, बाकायदा उसके गले में बांध लिया, और उस पर लिखा था, हम कोई भी काम करने को तैयार हैं, विलिंग टू डू एनी काइंड ऑफ वर्क। क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज इंक्रीज्ड। देखो, अब जब पूरे देश में आर्थिक तंगी चलती है, बेरोजगारी आ जाती है, तो जो क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज होंगी, जो क्राइम रेट होगा वो बढ़ेगा। सो क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज इंक्रीज्ड as jobs disappeared. Germans suffered untold miseries. Means the condition of Germany was very critical. The economic crisis created a fear psychosis in the people. अब देखो, जब फाइनेंशियली when you are weak, जब आप आर्थिक रूप से कमज़ोर होते हैं, तो आपका जो दिमाग है, उसकी जो सोचने की क्षमता है, वो भी घटने लगती है। मीन्स यू आर नॉट, व्हेन यू आर फाइनेंशियली स्ट्रांग, देन ओनली यू आर हैविंग, देन ओनली योर ब्रेन वर्क्स एट अ प्रॉपर स्पीड, मीन सेटिस्फैक्ट्री स्पीड। मिडिल क्लासेस स्पेशली, खास करके जो उसका सबसे बड़ा असर पड़ा था, वो पड़ा था मिडिल क्लास पे, और खास करके वो लोग जिनको सैलरी मिलती थी। सॉ देयर सेविंग्स रिड्यूस्ड ड्रास्टिकली। जो भी लोगों ने बचाया था वो 2-3 साल में एकदम माइनस होने लगा। स्मॉल बिजनेसमैन वर रूइंग, और जो छोटे व्यापारी थे वो खत्म हो गए। These sections suffered from proletarianization. They suffered from proletarianization and an anxiety of being reduced. What does this word means? This word means an anxiety of being reduced to the level of working class or the unemployed. Just think that you are the mill owner, you are the factory owner, but this market made the people, or they brought totally the standard reduced, and it brought them to the level of working class or the unemployed people. Big business suffered a crisis. Foreign investors and German businessmen closed their company. जितने भी फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स थे, जो भी बाहर की कंपनीज थी, उन लोगों ने अपना धंधा बंद कर लिया। दे क्लोज देयर शॉप्स। जर्मन बिजनेसमैन ऑल्सो क्लोज देयर कंपनीज। अच्छा, जब ये इंडस्ट्रीज और जो कंपनीज बंद हो जाएंगी तो इसका असर किस पे पड़ेगा? then the entire impact is going to be on the laborers or the employees of the company. The peasants suffered from a sharp fall in agricultural prices. यहाँ तक कि खेती का जो रेट था, agricultural prices थे, that also came down, and women were in despair how to feed their families. Now the parents, especially the females, were very much worried that how they are going to feed their families, how they are going to feed their children. Politically, the Weimar Republic was weakened. Politically, if I talk about, the Weimar Republic was weakened. At the time of depression, it was ruled by a coalition. देखो, जब हमने शुरुआत में पढ़ा था वीमर रिपब्लिक, अब वीमर रिपब्लिक की हालत क्या थी? जो वीमर रिपब्लिक की गवर्नमेंट थी, that was a coalition government. Coalition means when 2, 3 or more parties merge together to form the government. Now, one question for you children, answer it fast. At present, who is having the government in central? Answer this question. Yes, children, I am waiting for you to respond. If you give the answer, then only it would be easier for you to understand. Devansh, Vaibhav, Prithvi. Abhishek, just pay attention, try to understand the question. At present, who is having the government in central? Other people also, Prithvi, Vaibhav, Devansh, Priyansh, send your answer fast. Prithvi, what do you mean by UNA? Okay, so none of you are able to tell me the answer for this question. The answer for this question is NDA. NDA stands for National Democratic Alliance. Okay, the answer for this question is National Democratic Alliance. This word means that so many parties have merged together and they have made an alliance. One child has told me the answer, sir, BJP. Yes, BJP is the leading party in the central. BJP is the leading party in the central, but it is a coalition government. Coalition government means when 3 or 4 parties merge together to form the government. So, children, coalition government is better or single party government is better? Which one is better? Answer me. Single party or coalition? Answer it fast. Single party or coalition? Which one is better? Okay, I've talked to you about now, I should tell you, yes, Vaibhav, Sachan, different people are having different kind of opinions. Priyansh and Prithvi are having coalition government. Vaibhav is having single party. No, I tell you the best matter. The best kind of government is single party. Why I am saying this? Single party is a better one because that party head, that party head is the supremo. Whatever they have to do or they don't have to do, there is no such kind of problems. There are no such kind of problems where there is a coalition government. So many brains, so many parties, all of them want that their statement should only be correct. देखो, जब कई सारे लोग मिलके एक काम करते हैं तो उसमें दिक्कतें आने लगती हैं. 5 लोगों, पांचों की अलग अलग राय है, एक सोल्यूशन नहीं आ पाता है. और सिंगल पार्टी में क्या होता है, आप सोच समझ के काम करते हैं एंड वॉट एवर यू से दैट इज ओनली एप्लीकेबल. तो पॉलिटिकल टर्म्स में इफ आई टॉक अबाउट सिंगल पार्टी इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन. वाई? इन कोलिशन एट एनी टाइम, किसी भी समय, इफ एनी ऑफ द पार्टी withdraws its support, if any of the party withdraws its support, then what will happen? Your government will fall. Why? Because you are not able to prove your majority in the house, as that has happened in India also. For best example, I will tell you about UP state. When for the first time Madam Mayawati was made the CM, it was along with the support of BJP. For the first 2.5 years, as you know that the tenure is of 5 years, the first 2.5 years were to be ruled by BSP and the remaining 2.5 years were to be ruled by BJP. But after ruling 2.5 years, BSP, they withdrew their support. And at that time, after that, what happened? Elections took place. So that is the demarital point. Okay. Now, this kind of systems are there. Now, the Weimar Constitution had an inherent defect. It gave its president the power. Now, the Weimar Constitution had a defect. It gave its president the power to impose emergency. Now, the Weimar Constitution, according to it, it was having the power to impose emergency. They can cancel your civil rights or your fundamental rights, and rule by decree. During its 17 years rule, the Republic saw 20 different cabinets. See, for this party, Weimar Republic ran for 17 years, but 20 different cabinets. During that 17 years, 20 times the government changed. On an average, 239 days, means each government ruled for 239 days. People lost confidence. Now, at this moment of time, in 17 years, 20 times the government has changed. So what will happen? Now, the people have lost their confidence in the democratic parliamentary system. And on the contrary, the people wanted to have a different kind of government. Communist seemed to be their only savior. Now, only the communist section was only the option. But the spread of communism was stopped. But during that time, after the Russian Revolution of the year 1917, all the nations were moving towards communist. So now Germany was scared of. Instead of spread of communism, this Hitler, National Socialism or Nazism blocked the spread of communism. जब पूरे देश में कम्युनिज्म फैलने की उम्मीद हो रही थी और धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा था, तब जब हिटलर पावर में आए, नेशनल सोशलिज्म और नाजिज्म ने आके कम्युनिज्म को ब्लॉक कर दिया. अगर at the time if Hitler would not have entered, then in Germany also communism would have spread. Now, let's move to the next point. Okay, children, different people may be having different opinions. Some would say coalition government. I also agree coalition government. देखो, लेकिन coalition government का सबसे बड़ा नुकसान क्या है? सबसे बड़ा नुकसान क्या है कि जो भी एक पार्टी है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल बीजेपी जो है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में, दैट इज हैविंग मोर देन 70% सीट्स. चाहिए कितनी होती है? केवल 50%, बट बीजेपी इज हैविंग मोर देन 70%. So if any of the parties, अगर कोई एक आधी पार्टी छोड़ भी देती है coalition government में, if they withdraw their support, then also there will be no effect of this on BJP. इसका कोई असर बीजेपी पे नहीं पड़ेगा क्योंकि उनके पास पहले ही they are having enough number of seats. This is the one example. Now see the other example. In Maharashtra, who is having the government? Fast. Answer it fast. In Maharashtra, which party is having the government? Answer it fast. See, nowadays, this party, Shiv Sena, is having the government in Maharashtra, but it is having the support of other party also. But what is the danger? The danger is BJP has not supported that party. BJP has not supported Shiv Sena. Why? Because Shiv Sena was saying that if you support, then the CM would be ours only. उद्धव ठाकरे अभी वहाँ के CM हैं. लेकिन सोचो, कांग्रेस और इनकी मिलकर सरकार चल रही है. If any of the people, अगर इसको बीजेपी सपोर्ट करती, बीजेपी अगर सपोर्ट करती तो बीजेपी का सीएम होता, वो उद्धव ठाकरे को एक्सेप्टेड नहीं था, और महाराष्ट्र एंड बीजेपी वांटेड टू थ्रो इट आउट, बीजेपी इस पार्टी को एकदम किनारे करना चाह रही थी। अब हुआ क्या, दे हैव फॉर्म्ड द गवर्नमेंट इन महाराष्ट्र, बट there is no surety that whether NDA and the alliance, the Shiv Sena and the alliance will be able to run for 5 years or not. That is the problem. Now, let's talk about Hitler's rise to power. My next point is Hitler's rise to power. Hitler was born in Austria on 20th April 1889. His early life was full of struggle. In the meantime, in the initial period of Adolf Hitler, his life was full of struggle and spent in poverty. His initial days were very worse. In 1914, when the First World War broke out, as you know, children, that the First World War lasted from the year 1914 to 1918, and the Treaty of Versailles was signed in the year 1919. In 1914, when the First World War broke out, Hitler moved to Munich and enlisted in the Bavarian regiment. He got himself recruited in the Bavarian regiment. इन्होंने फौज को ज्वाइन कर लिया और ये Bavarian regiment के एक उसमें भर्ती हो गए. He became a corporal and earned medals for bravery. He became an officer and he got bravery medals. वीरता के लिए उनको पुरस्कार मिला. At the end of the war, he joined struggling groups of German Workers' Party. और जैसे ही युद्ध खत्म हुआ, इन्होंने वो छोड़ के जर्मन वर्कर्स पार्टी को ज्वाइन कर लिया in the year 1919. He soon became its leader, और ये तुरंत ही उसके नेता बन गए, and renamed, और इन्होंने जर्मन वर्कर्स पार्टी का नाम बदल के he kept the new name, and the new name was National Socialist German Workers Party, and later on this party got the name of Nazi Party. Remember this term? Remember the full form. Adolf Hitler started his career, he became the leader and renamed National Socialist German Workers Party as the Nazi Party. This kind of question can be in your multiple choice. The question can be, what was the real name of Nazi Party? You will give the answer. The real name of this party was National Socialist German Workers Party. In 1923, Hitler planned to seize the control of Bavaria, march to Berlin, and capture power. He joined an uprising in Munich. It was easily put down and Hitler was arrested. In this uprising which took place in Munich, it was put down and Hitler was being arrested, tried for treason and later released. इनको अरेस्ट किया गया और इनको बाद में छोड़ा गया. Upon release from prison, और जैसे ही जेल से छूटे Adolf Hitler, Hitler continued his agitation, but his Nazi party won only 14 seats in the December elections of 1924. जो elections हुए थे 1924 में, his party got only 14 seats. The turning point in his career came, और इनके जो लाइफ में जो turning point आया वो करीब 6 साल बाद आया. In 1924 elections, his party got only 14 seats, but the real change occurred. The fortune wheel changed in the year 1930 when the Nazis won 107 seats in the Reichstag. 1930 elections, they won 107 seats in the Reichstag. It was the period of Great Depression, and this time, as we have studied earlier, the entire world was full of depression, financial depression, economic depression. It was the period of Great Depression, and Hitler found support from the middle class. Why did the middle class supported him? Because the biggest problem sufferers were the middle class people because the rates were shooting up. The Nazi propaganda stirred hopes of a better future, and the speeches, the lines, the quotes which were being given by the Nazi party or Adolf Hitler, लोगों को उसमें एक उम्मीद आई कि ये कुछ हमारे लिए नया होगा, हमें again we are going to have some economic reforms, हमारी आर्थिक हालत सुधरेगी. Now his speeches, he was a very good orator. The biggest quality of this person, apart from his bravery, apart from his leadership, he was a very good orator. Orator का मतलब होता है जो भाषण देता है. His words were unique. The Nazi propaganda stirred hopes of a better future to the middle class, looking for economic reforms. By 1932, the Nazi party had become the largest party in Germany. By the year 1932, the Nazi party had become the largest party in Germany with 37% votes. अब जर्मनी की सबसे बड़ी पार्टी हो गई थी 37% वोट्स के साथ. Now, Hitler was a powerful orator. Just now I have told you that Hitler was a very good orator. He gained power in Germany using charismatic oratory and appealed to the economic needs of the lower middle class. As I would say, at present, our Honorable Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, is a very powerful orator. Orator means बहुत अच्छे वक्ता हैं. And he takes those topics, he selects those topics which are related to the middle class or to the lower middle class. And the words can change the world. जो शब्द होते हैं वो दुनिया बदल देते हैं. As we can see in India itself, only the words of the PM has changed the government. The same thing happened in Germany. The speeches, the oratory skills of Hitler made him more and more popular. He was a strong nationalist who spoke against the Treaty of Versailles. देखो सबसे बड़ी गलती क्या हुई थी, सबसे बड़ा नुकसान किस चीज़ में हुआ था जर्मनी को? Because they have signed the Treaty of Versailles. Treaty of Versailles ने $33 billion war indemnity. Due to this Treaty of Versailles, Germany had to pay $33 billion. ये सब जो losses हुए थे, इसके overseas territories को seize कर लिया गया था, इसके 13% territories को capture कर लिया था Britishers, the victorious nations. Resource rich Rhineland वो allies control में चला गया था. ये सारे जो नुकसान हुए थे, public was totally dissatisfied with this. So this person was also against the Treaty of Versailles and promised to build a strong German nation. And he made the promise that he is going to make Germany a very strong nation. Hitler played on the bitterness of the German people for the defeat in the World War I. He claimed that German army was never defeated. अब देखो शब्दों में कैसा बदलाव था. एडॉल्फ हिटलर का स्टेटमेंट था कि जर्मनी की फौज नहीं हारी. इट वॉज बल्कि इसको राजनीति, बट इट वॉज दिस आर्मी वॉज बीइंग बिट्रेड. बिट्रेड मीन्स धोखा. दिस आर्मी वॉज बीइंग बिट्रेड by politicians. Thus he appealed to German nationalists and won the support of the German army. So इन्होंने German nationalists वहाँ की सरकारों से request की and he wanted कि and he also got the support of the German army. क्योंकि हार का responsible, the defeat of Germany, he did not put the entire burden or he did not claim that it was due to the army. He just turned the topic and he said that it was due to the politicians that they have lost the battle. He promised to restore Germany's military power. इनका वादा था कि फिर से हम जर्मनी को उतना ही मजबूत बनाएंगे, क्योंकि according to the Treaty of Versailles जो इनकी डिफेंस 3 लाख की होती, जो सिपाही 3 लाख थे उसको घटा के 1 लाख कर दिया गया था. Secondly, he and his party promised to carry out radical changes in Germany and get rid of the leaders who had failed to provide jobs to the German people. अब इनका सीधा सा स्टेटमेंट था कि वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 के बाद unemployment was prevailing during this time also, during the years of depression. The entire Germans were suffering from financial depression. बहुत बुरी हालत चल रही थी. So at this time, Adolf Hitler made the promise that he is going to bring back the days. He is going to regain the lost glory. He is going to provide employment to the people. He is going to provide more and more job opportunities. Hitler and his party also glorified war. Only violence, according to Hitler and his party, could destroy enemies abroad and political rivals at home. इनका सीधा विश्वास था violence. Violence means you can only kill your enemies and the other allies through violence. You can destroy your enemies and you can totally ruin your political rivals at home. The emblem of Nazi party was the swastik. आपने देखा होगा swastik, the background, or on your screen you can see that I have shown the swastik sign. That was the emblem of the Nazi party. The Nazis greeted each other with "Heil Hitler." The Nazis organized themselves as gangs of armed volunteers called the Brown Shirts. They were also known by the name of Brown Shirts. Brown Shirts means they were the gangs of armed volunteers. They resorted to beating and murdering anti-fascists and Jews. They were totally saying that they were against the Jews. And हिटलर ने एक और स्टेटमेंट कहा था कि जो ये जीव्स हैं, जीव्स एक धर्म होता है, जीव धर्म के जो लोग हैं, ड्यू टू दिस जीव्स वी हैव लॉस्ट द बैटल. ये भी जीव्स को इन्होंने अपना टारगेट बनाया. मीन्स द जर्मन्स वर हैविंग हेट्रेड. The German Christians were having hatred for the Jews, and according to Hitler, the cause of defeat of Germany in the First World War was Jews also. They restarted to beating and murdering anti-fascists and Jews. जो भी anti-fascists थे, जो fascism या हिटलर को accept नहीं कर रहे थे, या जो Jews थे, they were being brutally murdered. By 1930, there were 1 lakh brown shirts. मतलब 1930 के time, now he was having the support of 1 lakh people or 1 lakh soldiers. Now again the elections took place in the year 1932. Field Marshal Paul von Hindenburg, who led the German armies in the First World War. First World War में the head of the army, Field Marshal, was Paul von Hindenburg. You have to remember this name, it can be in a short question. Who led the German armies in the First World War, was elected president. इनको president elect किया गया. Hitler's party emerged as the, और हिटलर की जो पार्टी थी वो सबसे बड़ी पार्टी बन के आई, polling over 13.7 million votes, और इसको वोट मिले थे 13.7. Hindenburg became the president. देश का प्रेसिडेंट कौन बना? जर्मनी का Hindenburg. Appointed, अच्छा उन्होंने हिटलर को, the president Hindenburg appointed Adolf Hitler as Chancellor of Germany on 30th January 1933. The politicians of the right-wing parties, the industrialists and the big landowners of Germany had persuaded Hindenburg to make Hitler the Chancellor. क्योंकि जितने भी बड़े बड़े rich bureaucrats, rich businessmen, all the people have forced the president to make Adolf Hitler the Chancellor. Why? Because the people were having a hope that Hitler could save them from the communists. His party was the only party that had mass support. सिर्फ इसी पार्टी के पास एक जो mass support होता है. Mass support means जनता जिसका समर्थन करती है. This party was only having. Now children, today I hope so that Hitler's rise to power would be clear to you. Now let's move to the MCQs. MCQ turn means multiple choice question. Now you can see the question on your screen. The first question is visible on your screen. What's the first question? See to it. My first question is, what was Hitler's historic blunder and why? Option A, attack on Soviet Union in 1941 was his blunder by Hitler. He exposed his Western Front to British aerial bombing. Option 3, the Soviet Red Army inflicted a crushing and humiliating defeat on German at Stalingrad. And option D, all the above. Now, send your answer. Yes, Devansh, Prithvi, Vaibhav, send your answer fast. Okay, 2 children have sent the answer. That is option D. Yes, other people? Okay, good, Devansh. Okay, children, the correct answer is option D. Good that you all have given the correct answer. Now, let's move to the other question. My other question would be visible on your screen. Why did Helmut's father kill himself in the spring of 1945? Why did Helmut's father kill himself in the spring of 1945? First option, he was depressed by Germany's defeat in Second World War. Option 2, he feared that common people would mishandle him and his family. Option C, he feared revenge by the Allied powers. Option D, he wanted to die because of the crimes he had committed during Nazi rule. Yes, other children also give your answers fast. Okay, Vaibhav, Prithvi, Priyansh. Where is Devansh? Okay, all the people have sent me option C. Yes, the correct answer is option C. He feared revenge by the Allied powers. Now the third question. Which of the following? Third question would be visible on your screen shortly. Which of the following was a special surveillance and security force created by Hitler? Option A, regular police force in green uniform and stormtroopers. Option B, Gestapo, secret state police, the SS, the protection squads. Option C, criminal police, the security service. Option D, both B and C. Yes, just go through the question very seriously and then answer. Yes, 2 people have given the answer, Vaibhav and Prithvi. Good, both of you. Okay, 3 candidates have given the answer. Okay, all the 4 have given the answer. It's good. Very good. All the 4 candidates have given the right answer. Now let's move to the last question of today. The fourth question is, the last question for today is Hitler's worldview, which was also the Nazi ideology, was there was no equality between people, only a racial hierarchy. Option B, the blonde, blue-eyed, Nordic German Aryans were at the top and Jews at the bottom. The colored people were placed in between. Option C, Jews were the anti-race, the arch enemies of the Aryans. And option D, all the above. Okay, I hope all the people have given the answer. One person is missing. Prithvi, where is your answer? Prithvi, send your answer fast. Okay, Prithvi's answer is also option D. Okay, correct answer. The D option is totally right, and the D option was all the above. All the reasons A, B and C were totally appropriate. Now, that's for today, and tomorrow we'll be starting with Hitler as dictator of Germany. I'll be starting from the point of Hitler as dictator of Germany for today. This much only, and I hope so that the topic would be clear to you. The chapter is a bit lengthy. Be calm, be patient, then only it would be